What is up, ladies and gents? In today's video, we're going to be talking all about XPR Network. We're going to be discussing what's been happening with the price here, and we're going to be talking about price predictions, both for the shorter term, so over the coming days and weeks, as well as my 2025 target for how high I think XPR could go. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you are new here, then welcome to the channel. If you do like this sort of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer to the channel, then welcome back. It's great to have you all here. On top of that as well, if you're looking for a great place to buy or trade XPR Network, then look no further than the MEX exchange. This is the exchange that I use for all my trading because it has some of the lowest fees. It doesn't require KYC, and for a limited time only, they're giving every new user who signs up with the link down below $20 to trade with. So of course, if you want to make use of this offer, click in the link in the description down below, fill out your details. It takes less than a minute to do so. Deposit some fiat or crypto into your account, and then they'll give you that $20 straight away. Of course, on top of spot trading, they even have XPR futures here where you can trade XPR with up to 50 times leverage. So again, the link for all of this is in the description down below. As always, thank you so much for your support on this channel, and let's get started on this video. So XPR Network, you guys asked for it, so we're going to be analyzing the price here and what I think is going to happen. And we're starting off on the 1 hour chart here on XPR. Of course, one thing to note is that it's in the payment infrastructure niche here, very similar to a lot of other coins that we cover on this channel: Swift Coin, Telcoin, Alchemy Pay, XCN, XDC, and so on and so forth. So first and foremost, you guys know that I love this niche. There's a lot of potential here and a lot of opportunity for large pumps in price. So as I'm looking at the chart now on the 1 hour, very first and foremost, we're looking in the really shorter term, what is happening right now. And as you guys can see, we've had a trend line break already to the upside, which is very nice. We've also had this potential trend line in the shorter term. So what we could be seeing as of right now is a breakout from some sort of triangle looking like this. So for the very short-term traders out there, we could be potentially seeing this scenario here in play. As 27% trade here on XPR, as you guys can see. That would take the price up to 0.65 cents. We have already seen that breakout, and we've seen quite a bit of momentum, as we can tell with that green candle there. So this could already be in play. What we want to see is this resistance here to hold if this price target is going to be reached. So if the prices, for whatever reason, dip over the next few hours, then they cannot fall below the 0.5 cents level. If they do, then this triangle is off. So 6.5 cents here in the short term. This could be reached within the next few hours to the next day or so. So this could be quite a quick move. And just zooming out here on XPR, we can have a look at this chart, and the chart looks very nice in the sense, and in the context of the payment infrastructure niche, all the coins in the same category as XPR, we can see that XPR has done a very nice move. We know that because it's done basically an 11x since the presidential election, which is when most of these payment infrastructure coins started taking off. And XPR has been a strong performer. So if it's outperformed in this period over here, when we next start seeing bullish price action in coins like XRP, then we should be able to see XPR outperform once again. So I kind of like measuring how far these coins have pumped since the start of November, and XPR definitely looks like a strong performer there. In terms of price patterns and what I'm generally seeing, of course, that same resistance in the shorter term applies over here as well. The first thing that I'm noticing with XPR is the fact that we're seeing this as a resistance that's forming here on XPR. Of course, this has now been tested twice with the price. Each time the price is getting a lower high as it comes to test this gray line, which is our resistance. And so this at the moment can be considered determining the trend here on XPR. On top of that as well, we have this as our support. If we ignore this massive line just going all the way down here, this flash crash that we had at the start of February, we have this line going across as well, which has kind of supported the price since it's come and done this massive move here. Now, of course, as you guys can see, that support line has been tested 3 times, as you can see with these daily candles. The first time being over here, second time in this region, and the third time here. So we have 3 solid tests of the support, and we have a resistance that's been tested a few times as well. And what we can And what we can do with this is see this as some sort of triangle. So this is a chart pattern that tells us that if we break out past the resistance or support, then we have a potential determined price target in mind. And that price target stems from the distance between the first test of the support, which is down here, to the first test of resistance, which is up here. And if we break out to the upside, so that means we see the price on a shorter term like this, come up to this resistance and break above it with a lot of strength, with a lot of momentum, so green candles looking like this, as well as a lot of volume, then we could see a potential price target here on XPR of this over here at 1.4 cents in the upwards direction. Of course, it depends also on when we break out. If I adjust this measuring tool, you guys can see that the price target changes depending on where we break out, but nonetheless, it's 181% trade to the upside. So this resistance is one that I'm very closely monitoring right now, because if we do break above it, this could trigger something massive here on XPR. Of course, what I like about this as well is that we know that there's a deadline for XPR to determine where it's going to go, because this triangle is getting narrower, and as you can see, the support and resistance merge into each other on the 8th of March. So by the 8th of March, XPR really has to make its mind up on what it's going to be doing with this triangle. If it breaks to the upside, it could trigger this 180% move. It could also break to the downside. If crypto really gets bearish, then it could also see a price target here of 0.13 cents as the price target to the downside if we break out there. So just also bear that in mind if we come close to the support line once again. So we've got a potential breakout from this triangle pattern to look forward to here on XPR, but we also have this slightly longer structure that I think is currently in play right now on XPR Network. If we just zoom out even more and have a look at the price data since 2022, have a look at this, guys. We've got quite a convincing double bottom pattern, which in my opinion looks something a little bit like this. We have a clear neckline going across the price like this. The neckline sits at roughly 0.25 cents there. The price comes to test this line as a resistance on at least 4 different occasions throughout the course of 2 years there. And just to add to this conviction from the pattern that I'm about to describe, we saw it even tested as a support back in 2022 as well. So of course, this is a very strong area of support and resistance for the price. It forms the neckline of what I think is this double bottom pattern. So we had 2 areas back in 2023 and 2024 where the price came down to roughly the same level. So we got double bottom looking a bit like this. The price comes up to the same level on several different occasions, and what we saw in 2025 is the prices break out from this double bottom pattern. Now, the double bottom pattern is a trend reversal pattern. Obviously, the trend was bearish going into it, and now it's completely bullish coming out of it here. And the price target that we would expect to see from this double bottom pattern is the distance between where the neckline is, so this upper blue line here, to where the absolute bottom of the double bottom pattern was. If we drag that to where we saw the breakout, you guys can see that that price target is not yet cleared. It's sitting at 1.1 cents there. And so it's currently a 2x from where the current price is. Of course, we're seeing this shorter term triangle. If we break out to the upside, that could hit the price target of this double bottom pattern. And furthermore, what we can also sometimes see with double bottom patterns is that not only is the price target met, but 2 times the price target of the original double bottom pattern, particularly if it forms over a very long period, also met. We can also see that price target, which currently sits at 5.1 cents, that could also be the longer term price target here on XPR. That very, very conveniently sits at this price level here at just over 5 cents, which also coincidentally forms the resistance of the price back in 2021. So whenever we see a price target, if it forms some sort of resistance or support in the past, then that should add conviction to the fact that it could be a very nice price target here. So 5 cents, in my opinion, is where I think XPR could potentially reach to in 2025. Of course, this is a 2-year long pattern in the making, so I don't expect this to happen straight away. If I had to guess when we would reach that 5 cents level, then for me, I think that would be towards Q3 to Q4 of 2025. However, in the shorter term in quarter one, we could be seeing this triangle breakout, potentially taking us up to 1.5 cents. And finally, to add as well, I'd be looking at these fib levels as other price targets on the way up. I love these fib levels here on XPR because, as you guys can see, if I just zoom in a little bit more, you can see that the fib levels have been respected as places of support and resistance here on the price. As you can see where I'm circling right now, the price has come up to test these fib levels as both a support and resistance. And so if we start our journey up here on XPR, I would expect there to be a decent amount of resistance at the 1.272 fib, which would be a 1.2 cents target, at the 1.414 fib, which sits at 1.5 cents, which is the price target of that triangle that I showed you earlier. And finally, the golden fib at 1.618 fib tells us that we're going to see 2 cents here on XPR. And so these are some potential forecasts for the bullish outcome here on XPR. If we can get to that price target of where we saw that double bottom pattern, which is roughly 1.1 cents, if we can get to 1.1 cents and we can continue going with a lot of momentum, then we could also see a target of 5 cents here on the XPR network, which is in line with the high there back in 2021 as well. So that, my friends, is my longer term target. Of course, if we are still bullish, if we get a massive pump here and we head towards the 5 cents quickly, then we can of course reevaluate and even push the prices higher as our targets. But for now, I want to see that 1.1 cents target hit, and I want to see a lot of momentum carrying the prices higher above that before we can start to aim towards that 5 cents region. So that's basically what I'm looking for on the price. Very, very finally as well, before I miss this point, I just want to add that the MACD on the 1-day chart is looking absolutely amazing. We've actually just had a crossover over the past day here. So, this for me is quite a strong buy signal at this very current point in time. It coincides quite nicely with this triangle that we are seeing. If we do break out to the upside, then this momentum is now bullish. So we should see that momentum being able to carry the price here on XPR up towards that 1.5 cents region, because we are seeing a bullish crossover just over the past day here on the MACD. What that could mean is that the MACD lines start to head up like this before we see that 1.5 cents price target reached. So this is definitely something to add to the bullish count here on XPR. Of course, that's a wrap for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do let me know down in the comments if you're holding any XPR. Of course, if you want me to cover any other crypto, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.